Welcome to the workshop here, to our Project Clarity workshop. But I want to ask you guys a question, right? How many of you here are part of the 90-day challenge? You are, Cindy. You committed when you messaged me. Here's my point to you. How many of you guys remember when Michelle talks about what if there's no one on the live? How many of you guys remember that?
Say it again.
What if you show up and you do a live and there's no one on the live with you? So what do you do? Do you turn it along? Do you hit stop? What do you do?
Can you cover up the number of watchers anyway?
So she said to avoid knowing who shows up or don't show up, you put a little sticker next to where it says how many people show up. And you do that live as if you have 1,000 people on that live. Anybody know for what purpose? Anybody? So
There's people that are outside probably watching that aren't.
when you're on the live, number one, you need to know what you're going to talk about. Correct? You need to have that mapped out, right? You don't just come on it and wing it, right? Unless you're doing Q&A. Unless you're doing a Q&A, right? Anything you do right now is called content. What does that mean? You can take that content, you can chop it up, you can do whatever you want to do with it, but that's content you can have for months. Content only equal value when you share with people. Content has no value, but keep it to yourself. And it becomes another record when you're found tapping it. The odds are probably 1 out of 10. Right? Think about this, guys. This is what killed me. We usually have 1/3 people who show up, and we have 2/3 that buy the recording. But when I go look at the data, when I go look at who actually watched the recording, right? I'm going to give you some percentage. Okay? The first percentage is 10% of the people who attended live actually watched it. You want to know why in our workshop? They already got the transformation when they were live, when they attended. The only time they go back to the recording is to verify their notes in case they might have missed something in their notes. Unless they're Kim Mulatto and Kim takes the recording, drops it in Discord, get the transcript, throw it to ChatGPT, boom, there's my notes. I didn't have to watch 3 hours worth of video. Now, here's the other stat from data. The people who buy the recordings, right? It's about 30% who actually watch it within 72 hours after the other 30% will watch within 6 months. Talking about delaying a paycheck. Woo! That kills me. I am still till today bothered by that number. I am. It bothers me so bad you have no idea. Sometimes there's things you don't need to understand about people. How many guys sometimes there's things you just don't need to figure out. I'm still fighting that. Anybody still fighting? Or is it just
Better to not know.
all right? Real quick, guys. Let me share my screen. Hang on a second. Can you share? Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
It pays to show up around PPP. Anytime you need to go to our website, you're going to click on that 6 box. And when you come here, the first thing you're going to do is access yourself. And then once you access the workshop, this is where you log in. Where you log in the VIP or just log in this. Okay. We did it again. We're 100% conversion to VIP. We did it last time. We did it this time. And we did it the time before that. All this year, we've been 100% conversion to VIP. Okay. Now, Here's what I would have done, just so you guys see, right? Just so you guys see. This is what I would have done if we had somebody in general session. Okay? In general session, only thing we give is a 30,000-foot view of what's going about to happen in the VIP. So even in the first workshop, we had 7 people in the general session, and they all converted to VIP by the end of the general session because of that strategy. Does that make sense, guys?
Mhm.
So now I'm speaking to you community owners. You need to understand how to work that strategy. You see, it's all about things we learn from marketing. Does that make sense? Because what is the number one weakness of business? Any platform or organization. Their number one weakness is marketing. The one area that anyone will always need improvement, even no matter how good they are, is marketing. What gives them that information? Anybody know? What are we supposed to keep track of?
Our metrics.
Data. Correct. That's data. Right? How often do you guys hear Raquel talks about data? You don't make
Time.
some emotions. You make decisions based on data facts. Does that make sense? Data will always tell you what works and what doesn't work. Never fails. I just got off a session with Mike and he took that data stuff to a whole nother level. Okay? So this is what we would have done. Number one, I'm going to go over this just a little bit so people can understand PPP, right? This is our offer here in this community. Number one, you need to learn how to create content. That's how you buy back your time. Correct? And you need to learn that 2-hour work. The day you're in a position to make batches is when you start buying back your time. But when you really buy back is when you can afford to pay someone to do the batch for you. Number two, we help you choose your strategy. There's many strategies that work, but there's one that will resonate with you the most. And once you know what that strategy is, we help you and teach you how to create 7 to 10 video series so that your story is consistent. How many people do you know out there create the videos all over the place? If you watch some of their videos, you're sitting here with your eyes all spinning. Y'all ever had that feeling? It's because their message is all over. They're not focused. One of the things Daryl always say, you stick to that message, you say it over and over and over, and Jesus come home.
Hmm.
That's the way he said, right? Why? They don't second guess your story. They learn to know your story by heart. When they know your story by heart, that's when they connect. But if you keep changing your story, there's no connection, no leads. Does that make sense? And then you got to learn how to record it and edit it. This is what our community offer. Okay? But what do? We hold you. At what point does that process start? Anybody know? At what point does it start as standard, premium, or VIP?
VIP.
No, premium. Premium. Because at premium, you get at least 2 one-on-one sessions every month. That's included. But when you go VIP, right, and you see enough value, we haven't had one VIP cancel on us yet. Since the community started. Why? Even if I try to shake him off, I can't shake him off. Because they see enough value. Right now, I'll tell you this. When you look at here right now, Jean, Darlene, and Sandy, which are all fairly new, are the only ones that's not VIP. We currently have 18 VIP people. I got people paying VIP, and I didn't see them in a while. I don't understand that either. Is that? I mean, those who meet with me, they're not mad because they get more time with me versus what. So they're not mad, but I just don't understand, you know? And they're loyal. So I check in with them every now and then. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Right? Then you can choose a platform. What? Anybody know what my platform is?
HBA?
YouTube.
No, this is your social media platform. YouTube. Okay. Does that mean that I don't show up on the other platform? Not physically. Virtually. AI does all the repurpose for me. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody here does not understand? Okay. So repurpose me. You let some kind of technology post for you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That means that you still got to pass the 7-second test and the 3-click test on those social media platforms. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And your profile has to be consistent. You can't be an engineer. Sorry, I didn't mean to use engineer, but you can't be an engineer on Facebook and then be a book writer on LinkedIn and then be a digital marketer on TikTok and be a housewife on YouTube. It just not gonna work. Who are you? What do I do? Who are you? You no, right? So you gotta be consistent. And the number one way to do that, make sure you keep the same profile picture on all profiles. That's the first step. Whether you don't like that picture or not, that's for you. That picture is for you to create trust with your perfect customer. Does that make sense? Of
Mm-hmm.
right? Then once you got the platform figured out, you need to educate yourself on how to understand the algorithm. Everybody agree?
Yeah.
Right? Then you gotta choose the tools that is gonna make your life easier. So there's a problem with that. Why? Sometimes we got too many choices. How many of y'all feel that? Where's my techie people? Guilty as charged. So guess what? What choose the tool? What is the first thing you should be thinking about in your decision? Anybody know? Right. But how do you choose what platform? Who you need to be thinking of?
Or your audience, your avatar, your
Very
customer.
good. Very good. Your person that who's gonna buy from you. Because what are you thinking? Number one, simplicity. And number two, duplication. So even though you might spell worse, but it might be still a minute. Does that make sense? I'm not pointing no fingers, but I know some of us have to do a shift in the mindset, right? Because when you start thinking of that, otherwise you're gonna be babysitting a large group of people. And that ain't no fun. How many of y'all do digital marketing and apply for a daycare license?
Say that again, what?
How many of y'all came to digital marketing and apply for a daycare license?
I left child development a long time ago.
Once you got the tools down, it's time to ship it out. Ship it out, me, get it on the platform, post it. You got to be having a mindset of shipping things every day, which means getting things done. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I just share with you that is the primary numero uno offer of PPP. Our secondary offer is message clarity. Okay? Anybody know when you know you have a clear message?
When you start getting clicks or conversions,
And in order to get clicks and conversion, what do you need to master?
clarity.
You need to master how to solve what?
Mm.
Problem.
Someone's pain point or problem.
A problem. You got to choose what problem you're going to focus on and make sure you focus on that problem again until the purple cow comes home. And when you get tons of leads and you feel like, okay, let me focus on the problem. If I were you, I wouldn't change it if it's working. Does that make sense? Right? Everybody can resonate to that, right? So our primary offer is sitting in front of you. And where can you find this? You can find this in the community. It is part of the start here button. Does that make sense? Secondary offer is part of our about page. It is clearly stated in the about page, right? Because why? Who do we help? We help stay-at-home parents who are showing up daily but still feel like they're in survival mode because they're not converted, but they're showing up daily. And what is the problem that is identified to the lack of clarity of your message? How do we solve it? Pass the 7-second test and the big test. When you can say this, whatever your problem, whatever your solution is, and you can say it just like I said it, without having to feel like you're reciting it. How many of y'all have watched Sandy's video? Anybody? Anybody watched it?
I did.
You know her message? You think she knows her message? Yeah. Do you think she scripts out? I think she has a message by heart. You can tell when a person is speaking directly from the heart or it is teleprompter. It's a no-brainer. When you're speaking from the heart, that's step number 1. Step number 2 is making sure that your video has the proper components inside of the message and in the structure. Okay? How many of you guys have heard Michelle always say, structure equal what?
Freedom.
That's right. So let me explain to you. Structuring your video equal freedom. Structuring your community equal freedom. Structuring your ecosystem equal freedom. Structure in your message equal freedom. Does that make sense? That's why she says structure equal freedom. You see? When you see how this workshop put together and the structure of it, you'll realize there's a little bit of work done behind. It doesn't
All right,
just
man.
happen.
Listen, guys, I'm so excited.
And I'm going to tell you,
I got one of my 3
I
mentors
messaged
here,
him
and I'm going to
because
tell
this
you
morning
this. When
at
you talk
3
about
a.m.
big
my
boy
time,
pants
which
on,
is like
he's
midnight
the only
his
one
time,
that I have to wear them.
I messaged him the entire day.
Because by the time Tim
Anybody know why in the community you cannot see the agenda? Because it's in draft until we have the live workshop. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason for that. Guess who I learned this from? Who is the GOAT? She does the exact same thing. You see? So she teaches us to do the same thing, right? So let me go ahead and go to the VIP here. So we're going to go right here. And we're going to go down here. So now when we go here, watch this. Okay, so day 1. Okay, you got to notice day 1 is all about the Move My Cheese book, right? How many of you guys actually read it?
I listened to it.
What was your takeaway? Then we're gonna start going around the room here. Martha, you want to start with your takeaway?
Well, I want to listen to it again because it has a lot of content and it's very practical and a place to find myself in it and see where I don't want to be anymore and improve how I react to change.
Very good. Anybody else want to follow that? Anybody? Go ahead. Yeah, jump in.
I can agree with Martha. I found myself in it a lot. When the cheese got moved, it's like, oh, okay, I'll stay over here because that over there, I liked it, but I don't know if I like it. It made me realize when I'm happy and doing things, when there's change, I never thought about it was because I'm getting out of my comfort zone and I'm going forward instead of staying where I was comfortable. I'm getting a new comfort zone, is what I took out of that.
Absolutely. Good point.
And when you don't stay consistent of going forward, you go back to the fear of not growing again.
That's right. Now, this is your first time going to book again. Let's mix up a little bit. Let's get a guy for a thing. How about Rich?
From the only guy on this call. No, I'm just kidding. Cycles. I did not recently reread it, but I've read it before. And similarly, it has to do with comfort zones and, comfort zone, same kind of thing that was just said.
Very good. Very good. How about you, Rudy? Have you read it?
I listened to it at work briefly, but I'm going to go through it again.
Any nuggets that you picked up?
That consistency is key.
Okay. Awesome. 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 Go back to my lady there. Lori, go on, Lori.
I found it just exactly what Michelle has been saying. Look at things that are not what you quote unquote say not going well as opportunities and stepping stones and what not to do anymore. Don't do that again. It didn't work. Do something different.
In other words, you got to learn to pivot.
Exactly.
Right.
This is a book that I read many years ago, and just skimming through it, I found that pretty much have lived my life following this book. One of the things that always, part of my coaching, I always say is, enjoy all the opportunities that change. That's one of the things that enjoy the change and don't get too comfortable. The other thing that I just recall from my mother's always saying is that if you're too comfortable and not standing on the edge, you're taking too much space. So you either have to be in the court, instead of being on the stands, get out in the court. So this book reminds me of.
Go. Cynthia, patiently raising her hand like in the classroom.
I did not read it this time. I read it when I was involved in network marketing and flying by the seat of my pants, and it went right over my head. So I want to be pleasantly surprised with this workshop so that I can get the real message.
And Jean, can you speak, Jean? Or you just going to listen? She's driving her kids. Very good. Sandy, are you aware of the Who Moved My Cheese book?
I kind of think I had, now that you guys are talking about it. I never had an opportunity to look it up since you mentioned it, but I believe I did years ago. I was looking it up on the library app here to see if I could get it. I'll take a look, Bill.
Awesome. You'll get a good, clear direction with the book. Let's say that we had general session, everyone. This is all generation session with G right here. That's it. Briefly, the titles of the headlines we're going to cover deeply. Is that sense? So what happens is, in a general session, we only share the 30,000 view. So with the 30,000 foot view, they're either going to see enough value for them to get in, or they won't see enough value to get in. Does that make sense? That's just how it goes. Right? But so far, we have 100%. God, we even had people from the Philippines here. Archie, you want to say hi to everybody?
Hey, good morning, everyone. I thought it's 6 a.m. here my time. I'm sorry.
Repurposing.
Hello.
The ne-
Good afternoon. Yep. Yep.
So the number one thing, right? Number one thing, you cannot be in denial. You guys agree?
Yes.
Yeah, like there's people they won't even want to accept when they really are. It's like a numb language, and they keep going every day lying to themselves. What benefit does that do?
Nothing.
Because if you can't be honest to yourself, how are you going to be honest to your perfect customer? Do you think it's going to reflect them? Absolutely. You know? Secondly, they got to understand how to identify. So there's 4 types of people. You need to identify which person are you. Does that make sense? Right? And then once you identify, you got to understand how these 4 people they react to the problem. Because each 4 people react differently. Same thing with the shift. Each person react different through the shift. But the action and the framework is the same. But it's only the same if you realize what your breakthrough was. Because if there's no transformation, doesn't matter what the action is. There's absolutely no feeling. Right? So this is kind of where the emotion comes in. Okay? This is where the emotion comes in. Now, here's what you're going to get out of VIP. Okay? You're going to get the framework. You're going to be able to plug that framework into Chat GPT. Who knows you best? Your spouse or your Chat GPT?
Caps.
But the reality is true. Chat never deletes anything. You can't even delete. What you type in, you can't even delete anything. I try. I look for the button delete. Can't delete anything. So after the action, right? How many of you guys believe that anytime there's a tragedy that happens, there's a lesson that comes behind it, right? You get a tragedy, or you might get a blessing, but you need to understand what the lesson is. Does that make sense? But if you don't understand the lesson, you never learn anything. You're going to do it again. You have to be like the movie A Few Good Men. You got to be able to handle the truth.
Handle the truth.
Right? And once you're in acceptance of the truth, right? Now you're moving the needle stack. But then what do you have to do on the very last part? You got to be able to monitor it. You got to be able to scale it. Does that make sense? And right? That would conclude our general session. But you know, the good part is I don't have to send any link because everybody's on the VIP. How many of you would love to run a workshop like this and you're 100% converted to VIP?
Yep. Love it.
We currently have 49 people registered. Right now, you have 12 people here. We're probably missing 3 or 4 more, which is about a little bit over 1/3. But generally, when you run a workshop, you're going to have 1/3 that show up to the Zoom, and you're going to have 2/3 that just buy the recordings for a later time. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's been our numbers. Last year, we did 7 workshops. This year, this is our 3rd workshop. Now, if you don't want to miss our next workshop, one of the things we're going to provide in the next workshop, how many of you right now would like to have a better understanding of your own personal finance? Okay? The tool or the ability for you to get the tool that we're going to provide is not even offered in the marketplace. I built this tool with the last financial company that I was with, and still today, all the 7-figure earners today use that tool. You're going to be able to know from where the first dollar comes in your house to the last dollar that leaves your house. You're going to know where it's going. Is that pretty cool?
That's very cool.
When you got a husband and a spouse on the same page in that aspect, you get a better relationship. And sometimes it can be tough. You know, in the Asian community, there's always that one famous question. How come I don't know about this? Y'all ever had that problem? This credit card comes up. How come I don't know about this card? Oh, how about this bill?
It's the one causing the problem.
You know where you learn about this stuff? It used to be a TV show. Anybody remember that?
From
Like
Hollywood,
the Newlywed Game?
it's the Newlywed Game.
Y'all
And
remember
here are
that?
today's newlyweds. Couple number 1 married 3 months, Vivian and Andy
To be
Kendall.
on that show.
Couple number 2 married 10 months,
Right.
Denise and Keith
And you're supposed
Hyde.
to know the other
Couple
person,
number
and
3
she's
married
young
2
enough to
months,
know too.
Lene and Christian Dangar.
I thought it was a fun show. So, again, this right here, okay, is where the rubber meets the road for the general session. Okay.